Mediocre Murad struggles with consistency. One day he wakes up early, does that deep work, eats clean, hits the gym, but then the next day he does all the bad habits. He continuously experiences this perpetual cycle of being inconsistent. Meanwhile, exceptional Imran doesn't face this issue and has unlocked the secret to becoming consistent. He realizes that being consistent doesn't mean maintaining the same level every single day, but rather showing up every single day, whether that's 90% or 30%. Assalamu alaikum, my people. My name's Pablo and I'm a productivity coach dedicated in helping young Muslim men unlock their potential. So alhamdulillah, over the past 15 months, I've uploaded consistently on various social media platforms. And as a result, I've picked up many productivity tactics along the way. So whether you're an aspiring Muslim content creator, entrepreneur, or even a student, I invite you to enroll in my free productivity course. Click the link in the description below. So for the longest time, I was extremely consistent. I would wake up early, do 3 hours of deep work, then hit a workout, eat clean while tracking my calories. Like I was doing everything correctly. Though of course with life, things happen. You miss a day or two. But after that happened to me, it was extremely difficult to get back into the groove of things. There were some days I was back to my old self, doing 3 hours of deep work, tracking my calories, eating clean, working out, doing everything that you're meant to do on self-improvement. And then the following day would be a case of how many bad habits can I do in one day? Eat junk food, scroll on my phone, wake up late, everything. And the thing is, I was constantly in this cycle. One day good, one day bad, one day doing all the good habits, one day doing all the bad habits. You know, one day I'd think, yes, I'm catching some sort of momentum. And then the next day, I'd move like a hedonistic degenerate. And I found it a struggle to be consistent for one simple reason, and that was my ego. I didn't accept the fact that I wasn't that extremely productive guy anymore. I'd fallen off. I didn't want to admit that I'd have to start again from the bottom, and work my way up. And so, of course, when you refuse to accept the reality, you enter this vicious cycle of you're doing good, then bad, then good, then bad. It's very, up and down, topsy-turvy. And it wasn't until I went on holiday that everything changed. So essentially, I had this holiday booked for the end of December where I was going to film some content in Turkey for my history channel. And it was during this holiday where I was able to reset and recharge. I started to analyze my life, the direction I was going in, and what I wanted to pursue. And so over the course of the holiday, I began to formulate a plan of what I was going to do once I returned to the UK. Furthermore, I created a basic schedule where I'd know what time I'll wake up, hit the gym, and go to sleep. It was very basic. And then I was like, you know what? Instead of having these high expectations where I have to do 3 hours, then do this, then do that, I was like, you know what? Let me just show up and see what I can do. I was extremely relaxed with the expectations I put on myself. Whether I can do 30 minutes or 60 minutes or 2 hours, it doesn't matter. The key is to just show up. And when I came back to the UK, I think the first day was about 30 minutes. Then the next day was less. Then the day after was more. Then it was more. Then it was less. It's very up and down. But I didn't care. My main objective was just to show up and get into that rhythm of doing deep work every single morning. And the thing is, this is the truth of consistency. All you have to do is just show up. Sometimes you're not going to do much work. But other days, you're going to do so much work. It just depends. You see, the thing is, many people have a misconception about consistency. They think you have to maintain the same level every single day. You have to deliver the same results every single day without fail. And if you miss a day or do less work, you're inconsistent. However, in reality, this is very difficult to sustain. No one can sit there for 1 year straight and do 4 hours of deep work. Bring me one guy that's done deep work for 4 hours every single day for a year non-stop. It's impossible because people burn out, life happens, there's a myriad of reasons. You see those people who try to attain perfection every single day, exert all their energy and never make considerable progress towards their goals. You may be one of those guys that says, you know what, I need to go monk mode. I need to pattern up and do everything, 12 hours a day of work. However, this is very difficult. You'll burn out quickly. As I said, there's many reasons as to why someone can't maintain the same level every single day for a year or 2 years. You have to prioritize consistency over intensity. Firstly, you may be saying, you know what, I'm going to go into monk mode and, work for 12 hours a day. However, this never works for a myriad of reasons. There are a multitude of factors that stop you having the same intensity every single day in, day out. Firstly, your day-to-day energy fluctuates. Sometimes you'll wake up and you'll think, you know what, I can conquer the world. You have all this motivation to work on all your goals. And what will happen is that you'll do a substantial amount of deep work. However, there will be other days where you find it a struggle to sit down and do the most basic of tasks. You'll find it so difficult to get out of bed and go to your desk and do work. And so on the days that you have low energy, lack of motivation, it will be counterintuitive to tell yourself, you know what, let me sit down for 4 hours and do deep work, because you'll get nothing done. You'll be like, you know what, I can't be asked, this seems so long, and you'll go back to bed. Furthermore, having such high expectations on yourself leads to cognitive fatigue. You see, the thing is, with anything you're trying to pursue that's meaningful, such as a business, content creation, learning a new high income skill, it's going to be very demanding on your cerebral capabilities, due to the fact it's very important and it requires a high level of focus and determination to get through that piece of work. And so overloading yourself with these rigid expectations, like doing 4 hours of deep work every single day, will lead to burnout. Lastly, life happens. There are going to be days where you're extremely busy, where this thing happens, that thing happens, and so you don't have as much time in the day to dedicate towards your work. There is going to occur external events outside of your capabilities, outside of your power, that are going to happen, whether you like it or not. And so you won't have as much free time in the day to work on your business, on that skill, on content creation. And therefore, this will affect your output for that day. And you'll think, you know what, I'm inconsistent now because I was doing 4 hours every single day and today I only done 1 hour. However, this is the true reality of consistency. Showing up despite the fact that other things were trying to stop you from showing up. And of course, on those days where you're busy and life happens, your output is going to be reduced. But it doesn't mean you're inconsistent. It just means that you couldn't put the same intensity that day in comparison to the day before and the day after. You see, when you set yourself high expectations, it can actually do the opposite. It can cause you to be less productive and do less work. You believe that aiming big, like doing 4 hours of deep work every single day, will allow you to achieve more. However, in most cases, it creates a sense of dread if you haven't established the consistency muscle. If you haven't learned to show up every single day, it will become daunting. You know what? I have to actually wake up every single day at 6 a.m, 7 a.m. and do 4 hours of deep work. I need to go to the gym every single day for 1 hour. If you haven't been consistent before, it's going to be impossible to sustain, because the sheer size of the task feels overwhelming, and therefore you procrastinate. You scroll on TikTok, you watch YouTube videos, you Google pointless things. Why? Because it's too overwhelming. It's too hard to reach right now. And so what you do is that you try and distract yourself from the reality. This kind of procrastination isn't laziness. Don't think for a second that you're lazy. The reason why you're procrastinating is due to the fact you're trying to escape the pressure of an intimidating goal. And you guys know the problem doesn't stop there. When you know you're procrastinating and you're wasting time, the guilt kicks in, which makes it worse. And what happens is that you don't take action. You continuously procrastinate. It sounds like an oxymoron, but the greater the expectation, the more likely you're going to resist. The key in unlocking consistency lies in slowly building momentum. It's not about hitting massive goals straight off the bat. You're doing 4 hours of deep work for 1 week straight. It's rather doing 15 minutes every single day, because those small wins, they add up. And then one day you'll be like, you know what? Let me do 25 minutes. Let me do 40 minutes. And that you slowly build it up. No matter how small the thing may be, whether it's 15 minutes of focused work, or starting on a big task that you've delayed for a long time, builds confidence and reinforces the habit. Momentum is powerful. It creates a ripple effect. When you achieve something small, it motivates you to keep on going, to keep on pushing. These small victories that you accumulate over time eventually compound into bigger achievements. This starts making consistency feel natural rather than forced. You want to do that deep work. You want to go to the gym. You want to read that book. By focusing on progress rather than perfection, you start to build that consistency muscle. The real power of consistency lies in the habit of showing up every single day, no matter how you feel. Whether you're tired, you can't be asked, you're stressed, you're angry, you're sleep deprived. It's really not about being perfect or achieving the same level every single day, but rather just showing up and doing something. Even on those difficult days where you wake up and you're only on 5 hours of sleep, where distractions are everywhere. If you just show up for 5 minutes, you're consistent. You need to shift your mindset from outcome to action. And this is where discipline is created. This is where discipline is crafted. When you prioritize the act of starting, the act of, taking that first step over what you achieve, that's when you build the foundations for long-term success. Each day you show up, no matter how small or big the effort may be, you're reinforcing the idea that you're committed and focused on the goal. Over time, this habit compounds and far exceeds perfectionism or short bursts of effort. In order to maintain consistency, you need to learn the art of adaptability, and that's how you make it sustainable. Life is unexpected. Your energy, your focus, and life circumstances will always fluctuate. By being flexible in your approach, where one day you may have to do that deep work session at 8 a.m, but another day you may have to do it at 6 a.m, you maintain the habit of showing up every single day without overwhelming yourself. Instead of rigidly sticking to the same plan every single day, adjust your goals to match your capacity. For example, if you're feeling mentally drained, instead of telling yourself, I have to do 4 hours of deep work today, think, you know what? Let me just do 30 minutes. On busier days where you have a lack of free time, prioritize one high leverage task instead of completing your whole to-do list. These small adjustments that you may think, you know what, these are very counterintuitive, will actually help you in the long run because you'll be less burnt out and you'll still be consistent. Flexibility allows you to adapt to challenges while maintaining that momentum. Remember, productivity is the path to your dream life.